Valérie Itey is the CEO of Clic Recycle, leading initiatives in sustainability and the circular economy. With a background in digital advertising and a deep understanding of the technology sector, she combines her expertise to drive innovative solutions for climate mitigation. Valérie is also inspired by biomimicry, art, and music, reflecting a holistic approach to environmental challenges.
Hi, I'm Valérie Itey, and was trying all the time to mix what can be nature, science, or technology. Today, I'm going to speak about regenerative solution for a resilient future because as we were looking in the brief introduction, I think that is something that is very important at the moment. We believe that the future in business is really lying to a regeneration. And also, it is very important for us to find a way of solution in all the challenge that we are going to have. Moving beyond sustainability to solution and also to try to make a better planet for all. Today, I'm going to try to present you what we can do with some resources that we have in the planet instead of using the fossil that today make very big damage to our planet into a positive climate solution that can be restoring soils, but also ocean, and reduce water use and empower kind of communities. Regenerative Clic Recycle first. Clic Recycle was born after a long time of working in tech for goods and looking for a lot of kind of technologies that could be, but coming from a rural place in my new age, it was very important to find a solution in these resilience problems that we can see in a rural place, for example, and full of plastic everywhere. So we were starting with cleanup and looking all this trash that was everywhere. And we think about material, about what is plastic, how long it stays in the planet, how long does the things that we see everywhere will be staying or not. So we decide to check something to transform, to think, and to use something that cannot replace by robot, which be the creativity of human, but also the imagination. And that's very key when you think. The reason why artists related is very important because they are the ones that are creating something, the ones that are thinking. But there is also other kind of sectors that do the same. And this is the way that you can push something that is very important regarding our planet. So what we were doing with Clic Recycle is using resources that we can find and trying to make an application in different application solutions that we can find, for example. Our mission was very clear. It was regenerate ecosystem, reduce harmful emissions that we can see when you learn about climate change, for example, create something that can be local, but for me, local is global. So in this sense, it's not really that you really have to be on local because local, you can, if you find something that can be local, it can be reproduced globally everywhere. So as someone that was in international trade, it is very important this way because sometimes you see people who say, no, it needs to be local, but if everything be local and you cannot replicate globally, so then we don't have diversification, and I think it will not be so a good solution. So for me, local is global. Another thing is very important to make inclusive economy, and that can be built around the waste valorization. In my age, when I was in school, at the beginning, they always told us that something that is very the cycle of a product. Cycle of product for us was like a line, okay? It was, okay, I make a product, I use it, and I throw it away. And step by step, we think that this was not the solution. So we go to the recycling economy, but we didn't know how already we can recycling something because there is a lot of things that we make, but after it's impossible to recycle. So we went to circular economy. Circular economy is where it's changing. It's a game changer in circular economy is that you need to think before making the product in what is going to serve and how it's going to end. If you don't do that from the first beginning of the idea of the product, you will not able sometimes to recycling because it's too complicated in the way that you make this product. So that's where the change really came in this way to make a new product and how you will do it for others. So it's very important to make this switch between make take and waste models. That was very a model that can be the regenerative one, and where we can really make something different. If you really think from the beginning what is it and what you will do with it, I think that we have a lot of possibility to change this model and make better product into the environment, and it will be very more easier for all of us to succeed to challenge what we have today in our challenge for the planet. It is very important for us also to understand what is going around this kind of evolution, because when you work in a school, for example, you are looking for this, it is very important to understand what is circular economy and how you will do it. So regenerative solutions that we were facing a systemic crisis, but what is our solution? How can we um, actually down the hill of our planet? How can we find solution that can be a resilient strategy and not only trying to use a waste and doing something, but really give an answer and use technology science, because you have a lot of solutions that are going on making something for the planet, but you don't prove it. And I think that technology serve for us in order to prove what we can do, and challenging in a way of we can use science technology. So it's very important to switch this linear to regenerative economy, and after to answer and tackle this big challenge regarding practice that we have in the past, but also regenerative solution, and understand what is a regenerative solution, because it's not recycling solution. It's something that is different, something that is go beyond all of this. So it is very important also. So in our world today, we are facing a lot of systematic crises, marine pollution that is suffocate for ecosystem. We learn a lot that our planet is more than 71% of ocean, and there is a lot of place that we don't know really about it. So it's very important. Also, we have a soil degradation that is very something that is very important. You know that we have a lot of dry place that are very uh, impossible, and that can make a lot of problem of immigration to new zone because it cannot be used anymore. So this is something that is very important. The water scarcity that is treating also agriculture. You know that agriculture is using more than 70% of the fresh water of our planet also, which is crazy for me. Water is also scotting in stockade chains. So this is also something that is alarming, because we don't know where we can find, for example, other water, or what the policy with allow us, for example, to take the water from the rain also. We also have a harmful emission in the structures that we make in production. We need to reduce. Reduce don't mean stopping consuming, but at least reduce all of this, because if not, we don't have a planet B, and it will be very complicated to find something. Another thing that was alarming us is plastic overuse and harmful emission intensity of climate change. We need solutions that don't just stop the damage, but reverse it. So we just actually in summer in Europe, and in Europe we are facing already a lot of heats, a lot of fire, a lot of inundation. It's not that it was not in the past, it's just stronger and more stronger all the time. And this is where we see that we really have to do something and try to change what is happening today. Work with nature and not against it. How can we go back to what we learned and what others of our grandfather was doing? That is very important, because they were less producing, and they were also knowing something. It's not saying that we don't need science. No, on contrary. I think that we need to bring back the past with science, and don't try to make something new with science, but just learn about the past and mix it with our science, putting technology inside, and we can discover a lot of things that today we don't really know. So at Click Recycle, we go beyond sustainability. We were looking for new way of using waste into different type of solution. So we look at something that could be everywhere, that will never stop. And we decide to work with human hair. So you will see that there is a lot of association that are doing the same also. But what was very key for us was what I was speaking about the product. If I do something that it cannot be on the market, something that is not thinking at the beginning, so we're going to do the same, just using a new material. What is very important in think about the product, what you want to do with it, what is your goal about it, and after make a true public product, thinking about how is going to be this product. Okay, so we were thinking that okay, we want to tackle um, plastic, and we decide to do it in agriculture. We decide to do it to save water also, and also have a way of education and community basis, because I think that the more you are in a community, the more it will be easy to be all together and to try to work in the same way of solving souls, water, air, and community, delivering net positive impact for all. So we decided to use a circular economy and regeneration. Circular economy in a system that eliminates waste without taking new fossil materials that we need in order to go beyond of recycling, reuse, and repurpose the things. Regeneration is about creating net positive impact, which is very important because all the time that you are not positive impact, you are negative impact. And that's something that is something very bad. And this is something that we need to find is a real solution. So rebuilding ecosystem, restoring water, carbon, and life cycle, and living things better. That's what we found. And as we say, thinking about the past, putting what we know in the future to bring us to the present. Because what is very important is what we do now, and not what we look in the past or what we can see on the future, but what we can do now. All the time, every little step that we take in the present is something that is going to be very important. So, circular economy is about closing loops, making sure nothing become waste. So yes, there is. If you really think about at the beginning what is the product, you will know that you will do something that is beyond and that it will not become waste. By generation goes further. We leave ecosystem better than found them. We build products and systems that regenerate biodiversity, restore carbon cycle, and refurbish a natural resource using nature and our planet. We work with the regenerative. So how we were doing this is collecting via a cycle. Okay, so you are trying to have some human hair, but what will do with it? So you need to think into products that will be correct and abundant, renewable, highly effective for environment regeneration, and how you can collect it and how you can do it. So it was easy. The collection is not something that is very complicated. But what very complicated is to make a real product about it. And after to not use a buzzword, take the science, prove what you are saying. But when you are saying something and you make an LCA that we can have in Europe, for example, it's not, I'm saying this, it's prove what you are saying. Put sensors, give a real independent person that is going to look at your impact and looking what is it inside. Because sometimes you think that is going to be good, but you don't know. But if it's me who are in a university and I make the test for something that is for me, it's not independent. You need to find someone and you will have to invest in something like that that prove that what you are saying is true. Okay, so that's very important to build a product and to demonstrate it with science, but not you, something that is outside, like independent um, science that can prove what you are saying. After putting sensors and technology is very important because this give a lot of transparency, and this transparency will allow you to demonstrate what you were doing in science. And always think how is going to ending your product, how is going to end it. And so keep a goal on your goals, what you want, and try to make this circle way of proving, adding technology and also waste. So the vital roles that we see, for example, was soils. Soils is everywhere. Even we see that water is covering 71% of the planet. Soils were very, very important also because it's a way that we can regenerate what we eat, what there is, and everything. So we decided to build a new product in this, and it was ClicTerra. ClicTerra is using a mulching that is mixed because putting air in the soils, you will see that is not good. It's a lot of keratin. You need to mix it with others kind of fiber and also check what is going to happen because all soils are not the same also. All crops that you are putting in the soil is not the same. So it's not something that one copy that you work for everything because we are speaking about soils and soils work with climates, soils work with continents, soils work with something that is different in every place where we go, even sometimes in the same country. So it was very important to understand it and to use, as I was saying before, like a life cycle assessment, but a true one, not a one that you make by yourself, someone that is really certificated, because it's very important when we are looking and doing new solution for impact. For me, what is very important is transparency, because you cannot joke with what is impact or what is our souls and what we are challenging. You need to really do something that you can prove, and that was very important. So life cycle assessment is the next big thing that is going to arrive in circular economy, because it's a way that you prove what you are saying. Don't tell me that you take plastic from one place to do something if you cannot prove me that all the 1 kilo of plastics that you are taking are doing this kind of product. So this is what we call about traceability. This is what we call with blockchain. This is something that when you put technology into the game, everything will change. So here you can see ClicTerra, our solution for regenerative agriculture. So we create a mulch that we put sensor in it, and we are sure about the result because it was done by a university that is not where we are making something, not making someone that is working inside. It's just something that is completely independently and that can give you a result that is independent. So sometimes you have results that you don't like, and sometimes you have results that you like. In this case, we're testing like three density of air mulch. Some density was not good for soils and what we are making as crop, but in other is pretend to be very good. So we see that it was a reduction of irrigation of more than 30%, which is quite high if you think that you don't put nothing. It's very hard also to win plastic in a LCA because plastic is fabulous material, even if I hate him. Is very light, so you can transport it really more. But he also has some capacity and others that he don't have. In this case, for temperature, we are very good because it's true that when there is a lot of sun, plastic is harming the soils a lot. So in this case, it was good. But if you go, for example, in a country that there is not a lot of light and sun, perhaps plastic will be better than our mulch. So this is something also that we need always to think when you make something local is global, but you need to adapt the same that you do in international trade. If you don't adapt in the place and you are speaking about impact, you are speaking about climate change, you are speaking about solutions that can give an answer, you need to really think about all the kind of ingredients that you will have to make in order to have a good cook. That's a metaphor that we use a lot in France, for example. So you can see that the result in this was very good. And the reason why we are sure that is very important that we can use this kind of mulching, that remember is a vegan mulching. We only use air because if you use two kind of air, for example, mixing two keratin, it can be too strong nitrogen into the soils. So always work with people that can give you the knowledge, put sensors, and try to see what you are doing if it's for the planet. After we were doing something else, but to take care about pollution in port and water. So we know that hair, for example, is recurring a lot of hole because it's very dry, but not all hair are very dry. Others are not dry. So you need to separate them and everything, something that someone is not always taking into account. You need also to understand that in the water, you will need to have only if you put a socks with hair, it's not going to function. One, you cannot put nothing at at least in Europe, and I suppose in Australia and other place, something by yourself, and after saying that you're going to recuperate toxic things, you need to work with people that know how to recuperate toxic, because when you take something that have a lot of toxicity, you need to know what you will do with this, okay? So that's very important to see how you will make the product of this, how you will make the partnership to succeed to do it. And after, take sensors also and look what you are taking. Don't put always data that can be set for everybody or every coffee. No, you already need to make something case by case and what is going and to prove what you are saying. So in this case, we were looking and we discovered something that we didn't know at the beginning, which was heavy metal, for example. And regarding plastic, we know that plastic is taking more than air, for example. Air is not winning plastic in recuperation, and polypropylene is losing, but it can be a good solution if you succeed to make engineering new barrier and that the air stay always on the surface, and also trying to put sensor to see what you are saying and what you are doing. So in this case, we were doing this, we put sensors, we make our barrier, and we succeed to have this kind of results, which were very good also in this case, but we passed 2 years testing. Like prove error, error, prove error. So it was not easy. It's really engineering a type of solution with floatability, using only what is possible, and after also putting sensors to check what is happening in this. So this is the reason why we decide to put technology inside with the IoT platform, working with the best persons that can do in this, and trying to demonstrate to support what they can do using our barrier. If you only put some barriers that is done with air, for example, and polypropylene will win to use a barrier in air, because it will be easier for the worker. It will be also easier for them to transport to gain in everything that was the one of air, for example. So it is always important to find something that can be very different, for example, and give a certain advantage in order to push the market to go in something that would be regenerative as a solution instead of plastic one. So here you can see why for us technology was something that was very important to demonstrate. So we say that is like a measure and verifiable platform. It's very important. MRV solution, measurable reporting and verification. That is what is very important with technology and something that you can prove. This proves the impact, because here you can not say something, you prove it, and that's certificated. And this is very important, is a way that you can really prove the CO2 reduction that you are doing, the water savings that you are doing, and the diversity that you are using. How you can do it with blockchain. Blockchain also traceability is very, very important, because if not, I can tell you I recuperate, I don't know, 6,000 tons of something, and I make this. If you put traceability, I will tell you exactly how many I recuperated and how many products I can do that. This is why technology take all its importance, I will say. So always use technology on the service of what you want to do as a goal. Blockchain enable traceability. Sensors you to demonstrate the data that you are saying. Digital platform and mobile application will make it easy to use. And after you will use AI that will give you something that perhaps the best solution, and new barriers that you were putting tomorrow, we don't need it, which will be for me a dream. If I do a discontamination barrier, my dream is not to solve 10,000 barrier. My dream is that we succeed with technology to understand what is happening here, what is the reason of this, and that tomorrow we don't need no one barrier of discontamination. So we make a lot of trials, we make a lot of demonstration. We passed 3 years in Clic Recycle to do that, working with university, working with sport, working with big agriculture, agronomic university, trying to find if it was good what we were doing. So for me, when you are trying to do something in circular economy, in new challenge, I think this is a way. Use nature, use science, and use technology. Try to demonstrate and to live with the science, and not think that the past is the best, but this. Today, what it was important also is community. Community is very key, because it's a way that you spread the word, is a way that you can educate people. And, as Mandela was saying, education is something that is a more powerful thing that we have in our planet. Education, creativity, and imagination. I think that's a way that we can do something. Thank you very much.